These are true stories that happen during Christmas, but not the kind of stories you tell by the fireplace. I used to think horror stories were just stories, something you read online or see in cheap horror films. But that changed one rainy Friday night when I learned what fear really sounds like. It was supposed to be a chill evening. Mom and Dad were out celebrating their anniversary, my sister at a sleepover, just me, my phone, and the kind of silence that fills an empty house. Rain started tapping against the windows, soft at first, then louder, steadier, until it sounded like the whole house was breathing. I remember scrolling through TikTok when it happened. Knock. A single, sharp sound from behind the couch. I froze. Then again. Knock, knock. 3 perfect taps spaced out. I told myself it was a branch, or maybe the rain. I even laughed a little. Because come on, I'm not that guy who gets scared of noises. But then a voice came, low and rough, right outside the window. "Hey, kid, open up." Every sound in the house disappeared. Even the rain seemed to hold its breath. I turned off the TV. The light from the screen vanished, leaving only shadows. I could feel my pulse in my ears, thump, thump, thump. Slowly, I peeked over the couch. Someone was standing outside. Tall, motionless. A hood pulled over their head, face hidden in the rain. My stomach dropped. I crawled away as quietly as I could, grabbed my phone, and dialed 911. But the moment the operator answered, bang! The sound of shattering glass filled the house. He was inside. The operator's voice was a blur in my ear as I backed into the hallway, whispering, "He's in the house. Please, hurry." Footsteps echoed on the hardwood floor, slow, heavy, deliberate. "You shouldn't hide from me, kid." The voice was closer now, almost playful. I ducked into the kitchen and hid behind the counter. My hands were shaking so hard I could hear my phone rattling. Then, silence. Total silence. I dared to look up, just enough to see his reflection in the microwave door. He was standing at the entrance of the kitchen, staring right where I was hiding. I held my breath until my lungs burned, and then he laughed. Not loud, not crazy, just wrong. "You're doing great." "Don't move." The way he said it, like he knew I was there. The power flickered, the house went dark. I crawled toward the back door, every movement deliberate. When my hand reached the doorknob, it creaked. The footsteps stopped. A whisper right behind me. "I see you." I bolted through the door, barefoot into the rain, slipping on the grass, not even feeling the cold. The neighbor's porch light became the only safe thing in the world. I pounded on their door, screaming for help until my voice cracked. When the police arrived, he was gone. No footprints, no weapon, just a broken window and a muddy handprint smeared across the glass. They told me it was probably just a break-in gone wrong. "You scared him off," they said. But the next morning, we found something else. Muddy footprints leading around the entire house. Every window, every door. Like he'd been checking, waiting. I barely slept for days. Every creak, every gust of wind made my chest tighten. And then, a week later, it happened again. Around midnight, while Mom was asleep and Dad was watching TV, I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Exactly the same rhythm. I ran to the window. Nothing. But outside, in the reflection of the rain, I thought I saw movement. Just for a second. Dad went outside to check. He found no one, but when he came back in, he looked pale. "The back gate was open," he said. "We never leave it open." It's been 3 months since then. The window's been replaced, the lock's upgraded. Everything's supposed to be fine, but sometimes, when it rains, I swear I still hear it. That same slow, deliberate knocking. Knock, knock, knock. Maybe it's just the wind. Maybe. It was 3 days before Christmas, and the house felt emptier than ever. My parents had gone to a holiday gala, leaving me alone. I was 10, excited about Christmas, but nervous. I tried to distract myself with the Christmas tree lights, their soft glow bouncing on the walls. I poured myself a cup of cocoa and settled into my chair, hoping to ignore the eeriness of being alone. Then, there was a knock at the door. I froze. No one was supposed to visit. Carefully, I crept to the window. And there he was. A man dressed in a full Santa suit. Red coat, fluffy white beard, round belly, the classic Santa look. He waved. "Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, little one!" At first I was thrilled. I rushed to open the door, peeking through the crack. "Do you want to see some Christmas magic?" he asked, leaning in. But his eyes, they didn't twinkle. They were sharp, cold, predatory. My parents aren't here," I stammered, stepping back. The man smiled too widely. That's when I noticed it. Partially hidden under his coat was a badge, glinting in the light. Not the Jolly Santa badge. A police wanted badge. My heart sank. He pushed against the door, slow, deliberate. "Come on, little buddy. Let Santa in." I slammed it shut, locked it. My hands were shaking. I ran to the kitchen, grabbing a knife from the block. Every instinct screamed to hide, but my curiosity and fear kept me at the edge. He started knocking again, louder this time. "Don't be scared. I just want to play," he said, his voice low, almost a hiss. I darted to the back door, hoping to escape through the snow. But the ice slowed me. My boots slipped. I fell hard. The knocking stopped, but I could hear his heavy footsteps on the porch. Too heavy for a Santa, too deliberate. I crawled under the dining table, clutching the knife, barely breathing. Minutes passed. I don't know how long. The shadow moved inside slowly. "Where's my present?" he murmured. His breath fogged in the cold air, echoing strangely in the hallway. I imagined every shadow coming alive. The lights on the tree flickered. I could hear him moving from room to room, searching, sniffing, waiting. I whispered prayers, wishing someone, anyone, would come. Hours seemed to stretch into eternity. Then, distant sirens. The man bolted, disappearing into the snowy night. Police arrived moments later, their flashlights cutting through the dark. Later, I learned that the man posing as Santa was a dangerous criminal, hiding in plain sight. The memory of that night stays with me. Every Christmas, I check the windows, hoping the only Santa I see is the one on TV. Sometimes, in the quiet, I still hear a whisper outside the window. "Where's my present?" If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe. More nightmares are coming soon.